Another day, another story. Here are some climatic events convincing that climate change is real and mainly caused by human activities. Heavy rainfall during the 2023 monsoon season resulted in severe flooding and landslides across northern India, primarily affecting residents in Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Chandigarh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana, Rajasthan and Delhi, causing nearby rivers to overflow, with flooding and landslides washing away vehicles, destroying bridges and roads, and disrupting power and electricity. Over 100 individuals have died. The floods have led to closure of schools, disruption of flights and train operations in various parts of North India. 2022 floods in Pakistan. 1,739 people died, including 647 children, and an additional 12,867 were injured. Over 2.1 million people were left homeless because of the floods. These are the deadliest floods in Pakistan since 2010, when nearly 2,000 died in flooding, and the deadliest in the world since the 2020 South Asian floods. Asia, Europe, North America. July 2023 saw extreme heat waves in several parts of the Northern Hemisphere, including the southwest of the US and Mexico, Southern Europe and China. Temperatures exceeded 50 C on the 16th of July in Death Valley in the US as well as in northwest China. CNN, 2023. Wildfires have caused devastation and dozens of casualties and forced evacuations of thousands of people including Algeria, Greece, Italy and Spain. Canada has seen its worst wildfire season on record, harming air quality for millions of people in North America. Sea surface temperatures have hit new records, with severe marine heat waves in the Mediterranean and off the coast of Florida. Without human-induced climate change, these heat events would however have been extremely rare. In China, it would have been about a 1 in 250-year event, while maximum heat like in July 2023 would have been virtually impossible to occur in the US, Mexico region and southern Europe if humans had not warmed the planet by burning fossil fuels, said the attribution study published on the 25th of July. Marine heat waves. Sea surface temperatures, SSTs, exceeding 30 degrees Celsius in some parts, and more than 4 degrees Celsius above average in a large part of the western Mediterranean. Wildfires. Wildfires forced the evacuation of hundreds of residents and tourists on the Greek islands of Rhodes, Evia and Corfu since the 17th of July. Between the record-breaking global heat and extreme downpours, it's hard to ignore that something unusual is going on with the weather in 2023. Human-caused global warming does play the biggest role. However, the extremes this year are sharper than anthropogenic global warming alone would be expected to cause. Human activities that release greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere have been increasing temperatures gradually, at an average of 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.1 Celsius, per decade. 3 additional natural factors are also helping drive up global temperatures and fuel disasters this year: El Niño, solar fluctuations and a massive underwater volcanic eruption. 1. How El Niño is involved. El Niño is a climate phenomenon that occurs every few years when surface water in the tropical Pacific reverses direction and heats up. That warms the atmosphere above, which influences temperatures and weather patterns around the globe. Essentially, the atmosphere borrows heat out of the Pacific, and global temperatures increase slightly. This happened in 2016, the time of the last strong El Niño. Global temperatures increased by about 0.25 F, 0.14 C, on average, making 2016 the warmest year on record. A weak El Niño also occurred in 2019-2020, contributing to 2020 becoming the world's second warmest year. El Niño's opposite, La Niña, involves cooler than usual Pacific currents flowing westward, absorbing heat out of the atmosphere, which cools the globe. The world just came out of 3 straight years of La Niña, meaning we're experiencing an even greater temperature swing. Is Earth heading towards strong El Niño? Based on increasing Pacific sea surface temperatures in mid-2023, climate modeling now suggests a 90% chance that Earth is headed toward its first strong El Niño since 2016. Combined with the steady human-induced warming, Earth may soon again be breaking its annual temperature records. June 2023 was the hottest in modern record. July saw global records for the hottest days and a large number of regional records, including an incomprehensible heat index of 152 F67C in Iran. 2. Solar fluctuations. The sun may seem to shine at a constant rate, but it is a seething, churning ball of plasma whose radiating energy changes over many different timescales. The sun is slowly heating up and in 500 million years will boil away Earth's oceans. On human timescales, however, the sun's energy output varies only slightly, about 1 part in 1,000, over a repeating 11-year cycle. The peaks of this cycle are too small for us to notice at a daily level, but they affect Earth's climate systems. Rapid convection within our Sun both generates a strong magnetic field aligned with its spin axis and causes this field to fully flip in reverse every 11 years. This is what causes the 11-year cycle and emitted solar radiation. The last solar cycle hit its minimum in 2020, reducing the effect of the modest 2020 El Niño. The current solar cycle has already surpassed the peak of the relatively weak previous cycle, which was in 2014, and will peak in 2025, with the sun's energy output increasing until then. 3. A massive volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruptions can also significantly affect global climates. They usually do this by lowering global temperatures when erupted sulfate aerosols shield and block a portion of incoming sunlight, but not always. In an unusual twist, the largest volcanic eruption of the 21st century so far, the 2022 eruption of Tonga's Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai, is having a warming and not cooling effect. The Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai volcano's eruption was enormous, but underwater. It hurled large amounts of water vapor into the atmosphere. NASA Earth Observatory image by Joshua Stevens using GOES imagery courtesy of NOAA and Nestis. The eruption released an unusually small amount of cooling sulfate aerosols but an enormous amount of water vapor. The molten magma exploded underwater, vaporizing a huge volume of ocean water that erupted like a geyser high into the atmosphere. Water vapor is a powerful greenhouse gas, and the eruption may end up warming Earth's surface by about 0.06 F, 0.035 C, according to one estimate. Unlike the cooling sulfate aerosols, which are actually tiny droplets of sulfuric acid that fall out of the atmosphere within 1 to 2 years, water vapor is a gas that can stay in the atmosphere for many years. The warming impact of the Tonga volcano is expected to last for at least 5 years. All of this comes on top of anthropogenic, or human-caused, global warming. Humans have raised global average temperatures by about 2 F, 1.1 C, since 1900 by releasing large volumes of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. For example, humans have increased the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere by 50%, primarily through combustion of fossil fuels in vehicles and power plants. The warming from greenhouse gases is actually greater than 2 F, 1.1 C, but it has been masked by other human factors that have a cooling effect, such as air pollution. If human impacts were the only factors, each successive year would set a new record as the hottest year ever, but that doesn't happen. The year 2016 was the warmest so far, in large part because of the last large El Niño. What does this mean for the future? The next couple of years could be very rough. If a strong El Niño develops over the next year, combined with the solar maximum and the effects of the Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai eruption, Earth's temperatures would likely soar to uncharted highs. According to climate modeling, this would likely mean even more heat waves, forest fires, flash floods and other extreme weather events.